Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and welcome back to Fridays with Maniac4Bricks. Today we're going to be talking about the story of how I was almost banned from a store from buying Lego there. And, well, I would almost say more than one store because of how this story wound up. And I just want to say as a disclaimer, just because I'm talking about these stores, it doesn't mean I still have a problem with them. I'm still good with the employees there as far as coordination and communication. I still shop at these locations from time and time again. And, well, I left it off on such a cliffhanger, and I really owe you guys that story, so might as well talk about it now. The first account comes from the infamous Toys R Us. Now, there's nothing wrong with this Toys R Us location in terms of their handling, but I've come to notice a few times going to this Toys R Us location that there were a number of ripped or, let's say, scandaled Lego sets that were on shelves, and sometimes other products, but for the most part I was looking at the Lego stuff. These would be ones that people would come into the store, purchase at a point, and then take them home, take stuff out of that Lego set, and then bring it back incomplete, but seal up the box. They'll get a full refund for bringing the whole thing back, and the employees didn't really check over at the time what these items were supposed to be, and if it was complete, or what was wrong with it. So I don't know if these people were trying to get money off of the valuable items from them, or if they were just keeping some items for themselves and not having to pay a large price for the set. But I've come across a couple of these. I've been scammed on a couple of these, and that's not really the subject for this story, at least this time, but I do want to mention this for the next part. I was in Toys R Us on one occasion, just browsing the store, and I came across a shelf that had some minifigure packs. I believe it was Series 13 at the time, and what seemed peculiar about them was that they were already opened up. Now, normally, if I were to find an opened up package, I would bring it to the register and I would let them know so that it would be removed out of the shelves and it wouldn't be a problem for anyone else. And some of the time, I would try to get a discount from it, but that would usually backfire on me because it was incomplete. So at this point, I was able to find a couple of collectible minifigure packs open wide on a shelf around a bunch of Lego sets. I saw the pieces were scattered around, and I was even just being sure that all the pieces were there. Now, keep in mind that for this Toys R Us location, right next to it in a stone's throw from the Lego aisle is the electronics department, which usually has 2 or 3 employees around there. So one of the employees nearby walked over to where I was, because I was in an eyesight, and decided to ask if I was going to do anything with that package. Because they just saw me holding it on the shelf, they thought maybe I had already opened it. So I told them that I only found the package the way it was. And then, without a second to spare, they turned around, went on a walkie-talkie, and said that they need more security in the Lego aisle. So I decided this is probably not the best scenario for me. I'm going to be framed for something I only just found, and was going to turn in anyways. So I thought it would be best to just leave everything on the shelf and just walk away out of the store and not pick up anything. So that way I wouldn't be accused of taking anything from any of the shelves. Now luckily since then I haven't seen a lot of instances like this, only just a couple things every so often, but I'm able to avoid them or avoid being accused for them. I have been able to help other people with collectible minifigure packs just by feeling them and not opening them up. And usually I can tell what they are just by a piece or two in them if I've already felt the packs myself, and I can make it a lot less suspicious when going through collectible minifigures. I am not banned from this store, and I am happy to go back there every so often. Now for the next store, it's not quite the same deal. There was this Learning Express that was not too far away from the original Toys R Us that we talked about, the Toys R Us. And every once in a while, I'll visit this Learning Express because they have some interesting products here and there. Sometimes they have discounts on Lego, and sometimes they have Lego a little bit longer than other stores. So I would be able to find things that would become discontinued a little bit better there. Or some things that wouldn't be as easy to stock as in other stores. I've even found some odd Lego merchandise there once or twice. Usually things like sticker sheets or erasers, but still things that wouldn't turn up in your average retail store. So I've been there a few times, and only once in a while would they tell me not to record anything. Now, I don't try to record this for any YouTube videos, but usually I just take photos just so I remember what's there, and maybe I can come back later with some extra cash and be able to purchase what I want. Sometimes I'll even use it for comparing prices to other places outside of the store. But, as they said, I shouldn't be taking any photos or having the camera out. Which I must mention, by the way, is on my cell phone, which I can have out at any given location. Then came one day when I walked in this Learning Express. I saw a shelf that was full of Lego products with a sign on it that said 50 to 60% off. That sounds pretty darn good, and some of these were just recently retired sets too, so it was a good way to get a whole bunch that may have been missed from other stores. While I didn't have the cash on me at the time, I did decide to take some photos with my phone to record this and remember it for later so that I would know what to pick up next time I was around there. And nobody said a word to me until I went to the door. Keep in mind, this was around the fall time, so I was wearing a large winter jacket with a whole bunch of pockets on it as well. There was a man standing at the door that wouldn't let me leave. He told me to empty my pockets, which I only really had my phone, my wallet, my iPod, only just the essentials, and my keys to my car inside of there. I even showed him that nothing else was in my winter jacket pockets. While there were so many, they were completely empty. This man turned out to be the manager of this particular Learning Express. And he told me that even though he didn't find anything on me, he did catch me on camera stealing something. Now, at this point, you would think I would want to see the tape for any footage, because he already saw that there's nothing on my person that I was hiding. So, as much as I would have wanted to debate this at the time, I didn't really have enough time to go through this, and I didn't know how long it would take because I would have to go back to classes in a short while. So I left the store, buying absolutely nothing, and I was told not to come back. I didn't really tell anyone about this until a little while later when I thought that things would have died down. I didn't really go back to the store even though I shopped in that local area once or twice. But I felt like it was going to be something hard to work with, and maybe it was just better to leave it alone. But then I remembered, my mom had a similar experience when she was a kid and her mom helped her defend her against a store employee. So I told my mom about it just to see what kind of reaction I would get, and I wasn't even sure if it was going to be something that was my fault for taking the photos, and that's why I was banned from there, but she decided this was something she needed to settle. So my mom got on the phone with this Learning Express and tried to find the manager. Unfortunately, she didn't reach the exact one that cornered me when I was last at the store, but she did send along a message about this incident, and she was receiving an apology from the employee that answered the phone. Not really the best day for them, I suppose. My mom suggested it was probably a better idea that I don't go back to this store out of protest. And really, I wasn't too concerned about it, but I think it was a good idea anyways. Even though I would have wanted that 50 to 60% off Lego, I think I could have passed on that and moved on with my life. So the manager eventually got back to us over a phone call and apologized for the inconvenience. So I was allowed to go back to the store, the ban was lifted. But since then, I haven't really went back to the store. And not really out of a protest sort of thing, it just wasn't a thing I was really concerned with. I mean, it would have been nice at the time, but I could have still went on with my day and with my Lego without buying those sets in particular. They weren't anything that I was completely coveting, and I mostly was attracted to them because of the sales, and I don't see why not. It almost seems weird though, because I never had any kind of clearance like that large when any other time I've been in that store. Which was only a couple times before, but still was significant. So it almost seemed like a thing that they were setting up as a trap, but I think that's still a little bit crazy. So currently, any bans that I have on any stores have been lifted, and I have some okay relations with them. The Learning Express I haven't really went back to in years, and there's not really any tension that I feel with it nowadays. Although I did find it funny that recently, while I was applying for jobs, that they had a listing for an employee. I don't know if they would want to see me back after that. And might I add, even though they said they caught me on tape, they didn't actually show me any tape. Since then, I've went to another Learning Express and I've told them this story because I was friendly with some of the staff there. They thought it was a pretty outrageous story and they wouldn't have accused me of this kind of crime. And they know I take photos of things so I can come back for them later, so they don't really have a photo policy like the other store. I mean, they are also in a different management, so they probably have different rules like that from store to store. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully we learned something today from my little incidents. Mainly, don't tamper with any products on the shelves, or don't get too close to the products and be accused of tampering with them. I can't really say don't put yourself in a suspicious position, but you can avoid it a little bit. I mean, if you find something that seems to be tampered with, I'm sure that employees will pick up on it later on, whether or not the customers get to it first. But I would say, just don't profile anyone without any sort of evidence. I mean, maybe I look suspicious because I was having a heavy jacket or something, but it doesn't mean that I was going out of my way to steal things. I mean, I've worn that jacket many times in different stores, and even in the same store. So, it was kind of a weird move for that manager, and maybe it was just the wrong day for me to be in. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time with more LEGO videos, and we'll see you with more on the Fridays vlogs for more of my LEGO experiences.